Say it loud. Crisis is a doorway. Say it again. Crisis is a doorway. Louder. Wake your faith up. Crisis is a doorway, not a dead end. Clap your hands like you believe it. I want you to put it in your mouth, because whatever you call it, that's what it becomes to you. If you call it a wall, you will stop. If you call it a grave, you will bury your dream. But if you call it a doorway, you will reach for the handle. Write this down. Never respond permanently to a temporary problem. Say it to your neighbor. Never respond permanently to a temporary problem. The wisest man said it like this. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. Read it with me. To everything there is a season. Say it again. To everything there is a season. Seasons change. God does not. That means instability around you is not evidence of abandonment above you. It simply means you are at a hinge. A hinge does not imprison. A hinge introduces movement. Crisis is a hinge on the door of purpose. Let me define it so you settle it in your spirit. A doorway is a transition point that demands a decision. At a doorway, you do not camp, you choose. Panic and retreat, or faith and movement. You can stand in the threshold and cry, or you can take the handle and push. John 10:9, Jesus said, I am the door. If he is your king and he is the door, then whenever you see a door, it is not an end, it is an entry into his next appointment. Write this down. Every crisis is a summons. It calls your faith to report for duty. Many of you have treated your crisis like a verdict. You lost a job and you called it the end. The doctor's report came and you called it your identity. The marriage hit turbulence and you drew up a tombstone. No. Kingdom people speak differently. We are citizens of a country that cannot be shaken. Psalm 1 says, we are planted by rivers. Matthew 7 says, we are built on a rock. Hurricanes hit my islands, but they move. You don't name your permanent address after a moving storm. You batten down, you assess, you learn, and you prepare for the calm that always comes. Genesis 8:22. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. Write this down. Seasons guarantee change. Therefore, crisis guarantees transition. I am not here to give you cotton candy inspiration. I came to give you keys. Jesus said, I will give you the keys of the kingdom. Matthew 16:19. Keys don't negotiate, they open. Over the next moments, we will walk through laws. Laws of seasons, identity, faith with works, opportunity, gift, and stewardship. So your outcomes become predictable. Predictable. That means you stop gambling with your life and start governing it by kingdom principles. I want you to expect practicality. You will be able to apply these laws today when your money feels funny, when your marriage feels fragile, when your body is talking back, when your employer is downsizing, when your nation is trembling. We are not spectators of chaos. We are governors in the crisis. Write this down. A dead end has no handle. A doorway has one. The handle is your decision. The keys are kingdom laws. And the movement is your obedience. James 2:17 says, faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. So when crisis comes, don't just pray push. Don't just weep work. You say, Pastor, but the pressure is heavy. 2 Corinthians 4:17 calls it light affliction, which is but for a moment, working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Your affliction is working for you if you frame it as a doorway. Say this loud. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. Say it again till your fear backs up. Opportunity. Romans 8:28 promises, all things work together for good to those who love God and are called according to his purpose. Not some things, all things. That includes layoffs and lumps, rumors and recessions, betrayals and bank statements. The king does not waste storms. He harnesses them to accelerate his citizens. So align your heart right now. Lift your head. Wipe your face. Fix your language. Say it. This is not my conclusion. This is my transition. I'm at a doorway and I choose to move. I choose the word over the worry, the law over the panic, the keys over the chaos. And watch this. When you treat crisis like a doorway, you start asking different questions. Not why me, but what's next. Not who left me, but who's waiting for me on the other side. Not what did I lose, but what do I carry through this door that I never used before. Write it down. The question you ask at the doorway determines the room you enter. Get your pen ready and your spirit alert. We will not camp in thresholds. We will step through law by law, principle by principle, until crisis becomes your corridor to greater purpose. Say it one more time. Crisis is a doorway. And we are going through. Now let's get honest, because kingdom people are not afraid of facts. Some of you are feeling the winds right now. Layoffs, pink slips that came on a Thursday. Businesses closing your favorite cafe with the handwritten for lease sign. Prices rising faster than your paycheck. Eggs, fuel, school fees, rent that keeps nudging the ceiling. Medical reports with Latin words you had to Google. Betrayal, the friend who turned your secret into a headline. Family pressure, aging parents, a child who won't answer the phone, a spouse sleeping on the edge of hope. Creditors calling you by your first name like your family. I am naming the storm because hidden storms grow teeth. Exposed storms shrink. Say it. Name the storm. Now say this louder. I am not the storm. Write this down. Description is not identity. You can describe a crisis without wearing it like clothing. Jesus stood in a boat with waves slapping his face, Mark 4:39, and he named it, Peace, be still. He didn't deny the wind. He governed it. That's kingdom posture. We acknowledge facts, but we are loyal to truth. The report may say stage 3, but Isaiah 53:5 says, by his stripes we are healed. The account may say overdrawn, but Philippians 4:19 says, my God shall supply all your needs according to his riches in glory. The headlines may preach panic, but Matthew 6:32 reminds us, your heavenly Father knows what you need. So we name it, then we call it into order. I grew up with hurricanes. We learn to respect storms, never worship them. Meteorologists will show you a cone, speed, direction, projected exit. Write this down. Storms have parameters. They have speed, they have direction, and they have a season. And here's your line. Put it in your spirit. Write this down. Storms travel. They don't get citizenship. They pass through with a visa. The problem is, when you are inside the eye wall, everything sounds permanent. The windows rattle, the roof talks, the dog prays in tongues, but even a category 5 is moving. When you understand movement, you don't sell the house to the wind. You shudder, you shelter, you wait, and you plan to rebuild better. Ecclesiastes 3:1 already told us, to everything there is a season. That includes the thing you cried about last night. Now let me save somebody's life. Write this down. Never make permanent decisions in a temporary storm. Suicide is a permanent answer to a temporary pressure. Walking out of your marriage in a moment of thunder can cost you a lifetime of sunshine. Quitting your calling because people unfollowed you is selling your birthright for soup. Panicking your savings into the hands of fear, selling your house at the bottom, emptying your retirement because of a rumor, those are permanent cuts for a passing headache. Don't cut covenant to relieve a cramp. Proverbs 14:29 teaches, whoever is patient has great understanding, but one who is quick-tempered displays folly. Patience is the anchor you throw while the waves are loud. Let your emotions report, not rule. Write this down. Fear is information, not instruction. Your fear says wind is high. Good. Thank you for the data. But the word decides your direction. 2 Timothy 1:7. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Sound mind. Panic is not a strategy. It's a siren. The siren tells you there is a fire. It doesn't tell you how to rebuild a house. Philippians 4:6-7 says, be anxious for nothing, and the peace of God will guard your hearts and minds. Guard your mind, because the greatest damage a storm does is often not to your roof, but to your reasoning. Some of you have allowed labels to stick that God never wrote. The bank said denied, and you started answering to unworthy. The doctor said chronic, and you changed your middle name to forever. The spouse said, I'm done, and you introduce yourself to yourself as abandoned. Stop. Zip. Come back to citizenship. Romans 8:37. In all these things, we are more than conquerors. Deuteronomy 28:13. The Lord will make you the head and not the tail. Tell your neighbor, if you've got one in your barn, Spirit, call me by my kingdom name. Conqueror, head, overcomer, child of the King. Names shape navigation. If you call yourself the storm, you will act like chaos. If you call yourself a citizen, you will act like a governor. Let's practice hurricane wisdom in your house. When a storm approaches, we don't run up and down the street screaming. We secure the windows. We check supplies. We communicate with family. We choose a safe room. Then we wait with a plan. That's called stewardship under pressure. Contrasted with hysteria, shouting at the television, cursing the wind, making 5 phone calls you'll regret. Kingdom people choose the first. Write this down. Preparation is faith wearing overalls. Faith doesn't just shout at the storm. Faith also buys nails and fills the lamps. That's how you respect a passing system without surrendering your identity to it. Hear me, your life is not governed by CNN, BBC, or social media. We don't live by headlines. We live by covenant. Matthew 4:4, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God. Headlines will tell you what is. Covenant tells you who you are and what will be. So, when the notification dings, check it, then check in with the king. Ask, what does the word say about my health, my house, my hustle? And until the word speaks, don't you dare make a permanent move. Let me give you a picture from Acts 27. Paul is in a storm so fierce, they named it Euroclydon, a hurricane of the Mediterranean. Sailors threw cargo overboard. Panic was premium. But an angel told Paul, no life will be lost. He named the promise in the middle of the pressure. They cut the anchors, positioned the ship, and rowed the storm to an island called Malta. New territory, new opportunities, healings, favor. Write this down. The island you are praying for is often on the other side of a storm you must outlast. But you outlast it by listening to the word, not to the wind. So we have named the storm without becoming the storm. You can say layoff, diagnosis, betrayal, inflation, and still say, I am a citizen under a king. You can face the wind and refuse to sell your destiny to it. Now the doorway is in front of you and the handle is right there. The next intelligent question is this. If crisis is a doorway, what laws tell me how to walk through it without losing my mind? Get ready. We are about to submit the storm to kingdom law, starting with the law of seasons that guarantees this too shall pass. Open your Bible and your mouth, Ecclesiastes 3:1. Read it with me. Not in a whisper, but like citizens. To everything there is a season and a time. To every purpose under heaven. Say it again. To everything there is a season. Louder, to everything there is a season. Write this down. If it is a thing, it has a season. If it showed up, it must show out. Seasons are a law. Laws don't ask your permission. They govern your experience. That means the cold you feel in your finances, the heat in your relationships, the wind in your career, those are not verdicts, they are weather. You do not marry weather, you manage it. Now hear the stabilizer. Nothing is permanent except God and His promises. I want you to clap for that one, because that line will keep you sleeping at night. Isaiah 40:8 says, the grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of our God stands forever. Hebrews 13:8 adds, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That is your anchor, not the market, not the media, not moods. God and His word permanent. So when conditions start behaving like a yo-yo, you tie your soul to a pillar. Psalm 119:89. Forever, O Lord, your word is settled in heaven. Write this down. When everything is moving, grab what is settled. Let's stack another pillar. Genesis 8:22. Read it. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. That is God's economic forecast. He is not nervous. He is narrating a system. Seed time and harvest cycles, cold and heat cycles, day and night cycles. So fluctuation is not a sign that God failed. It is proof that His word is working. If the night shows up, it means the law is intact. Morning must report for duty. If harvest seems skinny, it means seed was skinny. So differently in the next round. Write this down. Predictability lives in the law, not in the headlines. If you learn the law of seasons, you can plan in a crisis the way a farmer plans in winter without panic. Let me separate two words in your mind so you don't sabotage yourself. Season versus sentence. A season is a phase on a calendar. A sentence is a punishment from a judge. Many of you mislabel a season as a sentence and collapse under it. You lost a job and you stamped forever on your forehead. The doctor named the condition and you let the gavel fall on your future. Stop it. Joseph had a pit season, a slave season, a prison season, and then a palace season. The pit was not a sentence, it was a segment. If he treated the pit like a verdict, he would have died in a hole with a dream in his pocket. Write this down. A season gives you a calendar, a sentence gives you a coffin. And your king did not die to put you in coffins of conclusion. He died and rose to place you in calendars of purpose. Let me bring it home with a picture. Brother Caleb ran a small barber shop in my neighborhood, fictional for your instruction, but true in his lesson. For 20 years he cut hair and gave counsel. Then a storm season hit. A new mall opened. Rent increased. Chairs sat empty. He panicked for a week and called it a sentence, "I guess my time is over." I said, "No, sir, this is winter, not the end of the world." Winter does not apologize for being cold. It gives you permission to light a fire. He relabeled it a season, and when he changed the label, he changed the strategy. He started a mobile cut service for homebound seniors, taught 2 apprentices for a fee, and created a Saturday first cut free for boys, paid by local sponsors who wanted to be heroes. The same neighborhood, the same clippers, but a different season strategy. 6 months later, he had more revenue in winter than he ever had in summer. Write this down. Mislabeling creates mismanagement. Correct labels create correct strategies. So what do kingdom people do when we accept that seasons are a law? We prepare. Proverbs 6:6-8 says, "Go to the ant. She prepares her bread in summer and gathers her food in harvest." Preparation is how you respect seasons. You don't throw away winter clothes because it's summer. You store them. Likewise, you don't burn bridges when promotion comes. You maintain relationships you will need in your next winter. You don't cancel your insurance in spring because the sky looks friendly. You don't spend all the harvest because the festival is loud. You allocate seed for the next sowing. Write this down. Stewardship is the language of seasons. Fools eat their seed and blame God for the famine. The wise save seed and govern the famine. Let's get painfully practical so your life can become predictable. If you are in a financial winter, cut leaves, not roots. Leaves are luxuries. Roots are covenant priorities, tithe, integrity, essential bills. Keep the bank account open, even if the balance is small. Don't close your future over a temporary figure. If you are in a career autumn, things are changing color. Update your resume. Take the free course. Cross-train. Schedule informational interviews every Tuesday. Don't wait for spring to plant. Plant relationships now. If your body is in a healing season, don't curse it. Cooperate with it. Adjust diet, rest, and routine. James 2:17 will meet us later, but I'll borrow its posture. Faith plans, faith prepares, faith moves. Remember Isaac in Genesis 26? Scripture says there was a famine in the land. That's economic winter. God sent a word, and Isaac sowed in that land, same land, and reaped in the same year 100-fold. The land didn't change. The season didn't look friendly. The instruction and obedience did the lifting. Write this down. Seasons are real, but they are not sovereign. The word is sovereign. When you obey the word within the season serves you. And for those whose emotions preach abandonment when change arrives, shut that sermon down with scripture. John 16:33, "In this world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." That's not abandonment. That's advance notice and victory assurance. Deuteronomy 31:6, "He will never leave you nor forsake you." If he promised never, then change cannot be evidence of absence. It is an arena for his presence to demonstrate governance. Say this loud. Change is temporary. Promises are permanent. Say it again till your spine straightens. Change is temporary. Promises are permanent. Now, some of you are in summer bragging like it will never rain. Write this down. Prosperity without preparation is presumption. Buy winter clothes in summer, save when sales are high and temptation is louder. Negotiate your mortgage in a low-rate season. Learn a second stream of income when your first stream is gushing. And when you are in winter, don't sell your coat to buy ice cream. Don't make mockery decisions to prove a point to people who won't pay your bills. Wisdom looks silly to the impulsive until the season changes. I can hear someone ask, how will I know which season I'm in? Look for symptoms. In winter, demand is low. Doors are tighter. You need more energy to move simple loads. In spring, ideas sprout. You see shoots, not fruit. Don't eat shoots. In summer, work is heavy, long days, steady discipline. In autumn, you harvest and prune, celebrate and cut. Ecclesiastes 3 gives you the rhythm. A time to plant and a time to pluck up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to keep and a time to throw away. Read it like a musician reads a score, and your life will find rhythm again. Write this down. Once you find your season, stop arguing with it and start aligning with it. So lift your head. Seasons are guaranteed. That means this storm is not a God, it's a guest. Treat it like a visitor. Respect its presence. Prepare for its exit and learn what it came to teach you. We do not freeze in doorways. We pass through them with calendars in our hands and promises in our hearts. Say it one more time. To everything there is a season. And because that is true, you can praise God in winter, budget in summer, plant in spring, and harvest in autumn without hysteria, with holy predictability. Nothing is permanent except God and His promises. And that is why, even here, you are safe to prepare. Now that you understand seasons, here comes a doorway test. Who is Lord right now? Write this down. Crisis is a referendum on lordship. The wind is loud to see if it can sit on your throne. The bill is urgent to see if it can become your master. The report is detailed to see if it can become your Bible. Two kingdoms stand in front of you. The world reacts to circumstances. Kingdom people respond to covenant. The world builds on headlines. We are built on a rock. Jesus said in Matthew 7:24-25, whoever hears these words of mine and does them is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came, the floods rose, the winds blew, and it did not fall. Write this down. Storms don't decide outcomes. Foundations do. Listen to our King in Matthew 6:31-33. Do not worry, saying, what shall we eat? What shall we drink? What shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things. And your Heavenly Father knows that you need all these things. But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Hear the King. Seek first. Seeking is motion. Write this down. Faith is not a feeling. Faith is a verb. Say it. Faith moves. Say it again. Till your doubt gets dizzy, faith moves. 1 John 5:4 declares, this is the victory that has overcome the world, even our faith, not our fear, not our feelings, our faith. And James 2:17 cuts it straight. Faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. Dead faith does not open living doors. Doorways respond to movement, not moaning. Write this down. Crisis is a doorway that swings for movers. If you stand at the hinge and cry, it will comfort no one and change nothing. But if you lift your hand, turn the knob, and step, the law of the King meets you in the movement. Let me define doorway faith so you never confuse it with denial. Doorway faith is obedience under pressure. It is hearing God, then moving while your knees are shaking and your stomach is negotiating with breakfast. It does not pretend the wind is quiet. It positions the sail. It does not deny the bill. It makes a call, builds a plan, and sows a seed. Write this down. Faith is not noise. Faith is navigation. The woman with the issue of blood did not write a poem about her pain. She moved through the crowd and touched the hem. Mark 5. The 10 lepers were healed as they went. Luke 17:14. Write that phrase down. As they went. Movement unlocked the miracle. Work while you wait. Jesus said in John 9:4, we must work the works of Him who sent me while it is day. And in Luke 19:13, the King instructs, occupy till I come. Occupy does not mean sit in a chair. It means manage, trade, build, improve. So write this down. Waiting is not idleness. Waiting is work in the right direction. If you are in a holding pattern, don't dismantle the plane. Check the gauges, refuel, review the flight plan. Keep structure while the storm shouts. Sleep on schedule. Anxious people lose discipline, then blame the devil for exhaustion. Plan your days on paper. If the crisis is loud, your calendar must be louder. Budget like a governor. Assign every dollar a job. Dollars without jobs become rebels. Keep your bank account open even if the balance is humble. Do not close doors because fear is embarrassed by small numbers. A zero today is a runway for the inflow tomorrow. Keep your skills sharp. Read, rehearse again. Take the free course. Watch a tutorial. Cross-train. Don't dismantle your future in a temporary storm. Let me provoke you with kingdom questions that God used to unlock hidden supply. What do you have in your house? That's 2 Kings 4. The widow who had debt and despair. The prophet did not mail her a check. He made her inventory, her capacity. What do you have? A little oil. Little oil became an enterprise because she moved, borrowed vessels, shut the door, poured, sold, and lived on the rest. Write this down. Miracles multiply management. Then God asked Moses in Exodus 4:2, what is that in your hand? A rod, ordinary, until obedience touched it. That stick split seas, summoned plagues, and governed a nation's exit. So let me be your prophet and your coach. What's in your house? What's in your hand? Stop rehearsing anxiety and start auditing assets. List your tools, talents, relationships, and knowledge. Don't tell me what you lost, tell me what remains. I met Sister Helena, fictional for your faith, but faithful in its lesson. Laid off from a travel desk, anxiety rehearsals every morning at 5 a.m. Mind screaming, you're finished. We asked 2 questions. What's in your house? What's in your hand? In a house, a laptop, a decent camera, a kitchen that smelled like cinnamon. In a hand, bilingual fluency, hospitality instincts, spreadsheet skills. Doorway faith began with structure. She said a 6 a.m. walk, 7 a.m. prayer and scripture. 8 a.m. job search block. 11 a.m. skill hour. 2 p.m. proposal hour. She kept her bank account open and started a simple weekly budget, tithe, essentials, seed, savings. Then she moved 1 phone call to a former client, 1 application per day, 1 proposal each week to local guest houses offering bilingual concierge services. 1 product, draft cinnamon rolls in a Saturday farmer's market. 1 new routine, posting a helpful bilingual travel tip daily. In 60 days, the farmer's market covered rent. The concierge proposal landed 2 properties at a retainer and a hotel asked her to train staff. Same city, different posture movement. Write this down. Micro movements make macro miracles inevitable. The Red Sea did not part for theorists. It opened for walkers. So here's your micro action list. Do not argue. Do it. 1 phone call to someone you already know who sits in a room you want to enter. Ask for 15 minutes and 3 insights. 1 application tailored to 1 role with excellence, no copy-paste laziness. 1 proposal offering to solve a small, specific problem for a real person or business. Price it, name it, send it. 1 product draft, sketch the ebook outline, bake the first batch, record the first module, write the first page. 1 new routine that honors your tempo, 30 minutes of movement and 20 minutes of mastery every day. Say it with me, do something you never did before. Now some of you say, but I don't feel like it. Write this down. Motion reorganizes emotion. David didn't feel like running at Goliath. He ran anyway. Elijah didn't feel like hearing rain. He sent the servant 7 times. Naaman didn't feel like dipping in a muddy river. He dipped and came out clean. Your feelings are weather. Your obedience is the thermostat. Align the thermostat and the room will follow. Let me put steel in your spirit with 1 John 5-4 again. This is the victory that overcomes the world, even our faith. The word overcomes is not a lounge chair. It's a verb of conquest. It assumes resistance and promises supremacy. But James 2:17 warns the lazy soul. Labor without labor is a lie. Faith without works is dead. Write it down. So check your confession against your calendar. If your calendar is empty while your confession is loud, your faith is theatrical, not transformational. Repent and move. Practical? Good. Here are governance moves for this week while you wait for the door to swing. Keep sacred sleep. Same bedtime, same wake time. Tired saints make poor decisions. Plan tomorrow tonight. 3 priorities on a card. No more than 3. Excellence hates clutter. Budget weekly. Keep the account open. Automate a tiny transfer to savings, even $5. Train your soul to your future. Skill up daily. 1 lesson, 1 page, 1 practice set. Network with honor. Send 2 gratitude messages daily to people you value. Not asking, honoring. Honor opens doors. Tithe and tip. Keep the covenant and keep generosity alive. Famine fears the generous. Declutter. Sell 3 items you don't need and convert dust to dollars. Write this down. The door respects the diligent. Proverbs 22:29 says, do you see a man diligent in his work? He shall stand before kings. Diligence looks boring to the panicked, but kings are allergic to chaos and attracted to consistency. So bring your steady, bring your structure, bring your seed, work while you wait. And as you move, keep your confession aligned. Say this out loud. My faith moves me through this doorway. Say it again. My hands prove what my heart believes. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. I prophesy this. As you act, the hinges will sing. As you plan, provision will find pathways. As you steward, favor will stand at attention. Not because you shouted only, but because you obeyed boldly. Faith is proven by movement. Crisis is a doorway that opens when you act. Now, get up, write it down, make the call, send a draft, lace your shoes, go to work while you wait, and watch the king govern the weather. Lift your voice with me and rewire your perception. Say it loud. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. Say it again till your fear gets confused. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. Write this down. Inside every crisis there is a seed. God stores futures in small packages. Genesis 1:11 says, he put the seed in itself after its kind. That means God hides tomorrow inside today's trouble. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, with every temptation, he makes a way of escape. If there is a door in every test, there is a seed in every crisis. Your job is not to curse the darkness. Your job is to find the door and plant the seed. Every problem is a business. Write it down. The world sees lines. Kingdom people see logistics. The world sees pain. Kingdom people see purpose. Look at their feet and see a shoe business. Look at empty cupboards and see a food solution. Look at stress and see a counseling ministry. Look at single parents juggling 3 jobs and see an after-school tutoring and meal prep program. Look at the elders who can't navigate online portals and see a concierge paperwork service. Look at neighborhoods with trash overflow and see a pickup and recycle venture. Say it with me. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. Let me give you the kingdom pattern so you never wait for the wrong thing again. Deuteronomy 8:18 says, remember the Lord your God, for it is he who gives you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant. Power is ability, ideas, strategies, competence, not cash falling from a cloud. Write this down. God rarely supplies money. He supplies means. He gives concepts that create cash flows. He gives patterns that generate provision. Joshua 5:12 says, the manna ceased when Israel entered the land. From that day, they ate the produce of Canaan. Why? Because God graduated them from subsidy to strategy. Babies need manna. Kings need methods. Stop begging for bread and start baking systems. Watch Jesus at work. John 6. A multitude is hungry. The disciples present a crisis and propose a budget. 200 denarii is not enough. Jesus asks a question. What do you have? A boy's lunch. Scarcity named becomes seed discovered. He organizes the people into groups. That's structure. Blesses the seed. That's consecration. Breaks it. That's process. And distributes. That's enterprise. Write this down. Provision flows through purpose and process. If the problem is hunger, the purpose is feeding. If the purpose is feeding, the process is organization, blessing, breaking, distributing. God's miracles move on rails called management. Let me paint a picture from our own streets, fictional for your faith building, factual in its lesson. Brother Darian drove a taxi. A storm season hit. Tourism dropped, and the airport lines went from luggage to long faces. He could have parked the car and complained, but he heard the mantra, opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. He noticed three things: visitors lost in forms, seniors missing medical appointments, and small shops struggling with deliveries. He reframed problems as markets and purpose as a service. By Monday, he printed a one-page flyer. Darion, assist form help, senior ride, shop drop. He set 3 packages, quick form, senior ride, flat, weekly rate, shop drop per stop. He called 2 clinic managers, 3 shop owners, and a church seniors group. Within 4 weeks, the taxi wasn't a car, it was a logistics company. Same steering wheel, same streets, new eyes. Write this down. Your seed is usually wearing your overalls. It's sitting in your routine, disguised as a nuisance you complain about. Proverbs 20:12 says, the hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord has made them both. Ask him to sanctify your senses. Lord, give me opportunity eyes. In Genesis 2, Adam named the creatures, and whatever he called them, that was their name. That is a kingdom law. What you call it, it becomes in your life. If you keep calling it disaster, your creativity shuts down. Call it a doorway, and your brain starts building hinges. Call it a seed, and your hands look for soil. Write this down. Language licenses your lenses. How do you find the seed practically? Number 1, walk your field. Take a 60-minute walk in your neighborhood or workplace with a notebook. Don't judge, just observe. Where are people lining up? What are they complaining about? What looks confused? Number 2, interview pain. Ask 3 people. What do you wish existed to make this easier? Number 3, inventory your grace. What do you do effortlessly that others find difficult? Your gift is the fertilizer for the seed. Number 4, prototype in 48 hours. Don't wait for perfect. Test something small. 1 flyer, 1 call, 1 sample, 1 page. Number 5, price simply and fairly. If you solve a $100 problem, charge $20 to start. Honor opens doors. Number 6, announce with honor. Share with 20 people you already serve. Ask for feedback, not charity. Number 7, improve weekly. Iterate. Then iterate again. Write this down. Ideas become income when they meet pain with process. Consider 2 Kings 4 again. Yes, we visited it, but look deeper. The prophet said, go, borrow vessels. Not a few. That's market expansion. Shut the door. That's focus. Pour. That's production. Sell the oil and live on the rest. That's pricing and profit. The miracle was married to a business model. God did not rebuke her for selling oil. He instructed it. Opportunity is holy when it serves purpose and sustains stewardship. James 1:5 says, if you lack wisdom, ask God who gives generously. Ask for ideas, ask for models, ask for partners, then move. Some of you are staring at stress and calling it Satan. Sometimes it's an assignment. People drowning in anxiety need sound minds on assignment. If you have comfort and counsel in you, that is a ministry and a marketplace. Create a weekly peace class on Zoom, a 10-page guide, a one-on-one coaching hour, a partnership with a local clinic. Look at their feet. Those nurses are exhausted. Shoe business might be insoles, compression socks, and foot massages on Saturdays. Look at empty cupboards. Don't just sigh. Design a co-op pantry that buys in bulk, offers recipe cards, and delivers dignity. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. Now hear me as a father, write this down. Opportunity is useless without courage. Doors intimidate because they require you to leave a familiar room. Hebrews 11:8 says, by faith Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out, not knowing where he was going. That's a doorway. Matthew 14:29, Peter stepped out of the boat. Boats feel safe. Water looks offensive. But history does not remember the man who stayed seated. It remembers the one who walked. Joshua 1-9, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God is with you. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is movement with a promise. The seed looks small. The field looks big. And the wind is still talking. Move anyway. I can feel the future pushing on you. Crisis has been shouting, die. The kingdom is whispering, fly. Opportunity is a seed in your hand, but your wings must open. In a moment, we will talk about how crisis pulls out potential, how the nest shakes, the edge calls, and you either fall or you discover feathers you didn't know you owned. For now, change your language, train your eyes, and put your hand to a small, clear assignment. Say it one more time till it brands your soul. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. And as you say it, watch God highlight the seed, introduce the soil, and send the rain. Because in this kingdom, seasons serve those who steward seeds. Now lean in. This is the law that makes your bones strong. Crisis pulls out potential. Write this down. Discomfort is not cruelty, it is curriculum. Say it loud with me. Die or fly. Louder, do you fly? Deuteronomy 32:11 paints God like an eagle. As an eagle stirs up its nest, hovers over its young, spreads its wings, takes them, bears them on its wings. The mother eagle builds the nest with soft feathers covering thorns, but when the season shifts, she stirs, she removes the padding so the eaglets feel the prick. Why? To insult them? No. To instruct them. The pain pushes them to the edge. The wind calls them to the air. The father circles, watching. The mother nudges. The eaglet tumbles, gravity becomes a teacher, and just before rocks become a funeral, the parent swoops under, bears it on wings, returns it to the edge, and repeats. Not punishment, preparation. Not rejection, graduation. Write this down. Training feels like trouble before it looks like triumph. Some of you feel the nest shifting right now. The salary padding moved. The schedule feathers disappeared. Familiar routines gone. And you've been praying for the thorns to go away when God is using them to wake up your wings. Isaiah 40:31 promises, they that wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. Mount up is not a hammock, it's an altitude. You cannot mount up clinging to dead branches. Hear me like a father. Many die on branches that can no longer bear their future because familiarity feels like safety. Crisis shakes the branch so your wings can work. Write this down. You cannot pray away every pressure because some pressure is your development plan. James 1:2-4 says, count it all joy when you face various trials because the testing of your faith produces patience. Let patience have its perfect work so you may be mature and complete. Translation, some answers come dressed as adversities. Hebrews 12:11 adds, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Trained, there's your word. Not traumatized, trained. Kingdom people are not defined by the push. We are refined by it. Proverbs 24:10 says, if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Crisis doesn't expose your value, it exposes your voltage. And good news, voltage is upgradable. Let me pass to your fear of the unknown. The unknown is not your enemy, it's your inheritance. Abraham left without a map, only a mandate. Hebrews 11:8. Peter stepped onto water that had never held a man before. Matthew 14:29. Doors to new dimensions rarely come with railings. Write this down. God never assigns a season without issuing equipment. Your equipment is already inside you dormant until demand arrives. Crisis is demand. Demand calls potential out of hiding. Say this with authority until your nervous system believes you. I was built for this season. My wings are working. Again, I was built for this season. My wings are working. One more time so the branch gets the message. I was built for this season. My wings are working. Now act like it. Courage is not goosebumps. It's governance under pressure. Pick one fear and schedule its defeat in the next 48 hours. Make the call you've been avoiding. Post the product you've been perfecting to death. Volunteer to lead the small team solving a real problem. Host a 10-person interest meeting for the service you prototyped last week. Movement confirms maturity. Write this down. Development precedes deliverance. Israel wanted out of Egypt. God wanted Egypt out of Israel. That takes process. 2 Corinthians 4:17 says, our light affliction, which is but for a moment, is working for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. Working for us, that means crisis is on your payroll if you hire it. Stop firing your trainers. Hire them. Let resistance produce resilience. Let deadlines create discipline. Let scarcity sharpen stewardship. Let rejection refine your pitch. The thorn pushes. The wing responds. Hear a quick testimony, Brother Micah. A quiet IT support worker, introverted like a whisper. Company downsized. His branch shook. He could have clung and cried. Instead, he noticed everyone in his complex struggling with digital forms, routers, and remote school setups. Pressure presented demand, dormant potential answered. He branded a simple service, Micah Fix, and set a 3-tier package. First week, 4 clients. Third week, 12. Then a local nonprofit hired him to train seniors. The same shyness became a gift under structure. Write this down. Potential often hides behind personality. Crisis introduces them. Now let me steer you into the next law. Wings are for flying, but without direction, you will flap in circles and call it warfare. Write this down. Potential must be directed by purpose and expressed through your gift. Romans 12 speaks of differing gifts. By the grace given to us, prophecy, serving, teaching, leading. Your gift decides your lane. Your purpose sets your destination. Stewardship plots the flight path. In this law, we discovered your wings. In the next, we will aim them. Otherwise, you burn energy and never reach assignment. So lift your hands and confess it. I bless the shaking, it is my making. I receive the pressure, it is my preparation. I reject the branch of nostalgia and embrace the wind of the Spirit. I was built for this season. My wings are working. And as you say it, remember, the king who stirs the nest also bears you on his wings. You will not die here. You will fly. And we are about to show you where to fly straight into the economy of your God-given gift, where recession cannot fire your assignment. Now let's aim those wings. Write this down. Your long-term security is not in a fragile job market. Your long-term security is in your God-given gift. Say it with me. My gift is recession-proof. Louder. My gift is recession-proof. Proverbs 18:16 declares, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. It does not say his resume. It does not say her job title. It says gift. Jobs are seasonal. Gifts are sovereign. Your job is what you were trained to do. Your work is what you were born to do. Write that in big letters. Your job is a skill. Your work is your assignment. Your job is a paycheck. Your work is a purpose check. You can be fired from your job, but you can never be fired from your work. Let me father you through the trap the crisis sets. When pressure hits, people cling to the paycheck and abandon the gift. They silence their song, bury their counsel, hide their hands, and beg the system to be a savior. But kingdoms do not negotiate with panic. They operate by laws. Write this down. Crisis tempts you to protect the temporary and neglect the permanent. The kingdom strategy is the opposite. Double down on the gift God placed in you. 1 Peter 4:10 says, each one should use whatever gift he has received to serve others, faithfully administering God's grace in its various forms. Your gift is a distribution system of grace. When you shut it down, somebody's provision line dries up, including yours. There is no future in any job. The future is in the one who holds the job. That's why Joseph prospered in a prison and Daniel excelled in a foreign civil service, because their gifts travel with them. Genesis 41, Joseph interprets dreams, organizes grain, builds systems in famine. The economy is shaking, but the man with the gift becomes the manager of seasons. Daniel 5, an empire trembles. A hand writes on a wall. Who do they call? The man whose gift reads riddles and governs wisdom. Write this down. Gifted people become governors in crisis. So how do we locate this recession-proof engine inside you? Ask kingdom questions. Number one, what do you do naturally that solves a problem without drama? If you organize chaos and people relax around your list, that's a gift. If you explain hard things and eyes light up with understanding, that's a gift. If flavors obey you and kitchens become peace treaties, that's a gift. If numbers talk to you and budgets behave, that's a gift. Romans 12 maps the lanes: prophecy, serving, teaching, encouraging, giving, leadership, mercy. Your ease is a clue to your assignment. Number two, write 3 ways your gift can serve a real person this week. If you teach, offer a 2-hour math without tears session for 10 middle schoolers on Saturday. If you cook, design a work week rescue meal prep for busy nurses, 3 dinners ready to heat. If you organize, do a home office reset for remote workers, declutter, cable manage, workflow plan. Number 3, choose one to monetize ethically. Price it with honor. Value received must exceed price paid. Proverbs 11:1 warns against dishonest scales. So be fair, be clear, be excellent. Write this down. Ministry is how you serve. Business is how you sustain the serving. Let me show you a living parable, fictional for your faith, but true to these laws. Sister Alana worked hotel front desk, trained for hospitality. When the storms came and flights thinned, the hotel cut shifts. She heard the law. Your work is what you were born to do. Her work was not a desk. It was hospitality, the ability to anticipate need and design comfort. She listed 3 expressions: concierge errands for seniors, Airbnb guest welcome baskets, and small event coordination. She chose 1 Airbnb welcome baskets. In 48 hours, she made a 1-page menu. Basic water, map, local snack, comfort, basic plus breakfast items, celebrate comfort plus small cake and flowers. She called 10 hosts, sent photos, priced it fair, and promised flawless delivery. Week 1, 2 baskets. Week 4, 15. A property manager asked her to stage apartments. Then a clinic hired her part-time to design patient comfort workflows. Same city, different stream. A job shrank, her work expanded. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. Write this down. Your work creates multiple rivers. A job is usually one faucet. Genesis 2:10 says, a river flowed out of Eden and parted into 4 heads. It multiplied flow. Gifts do that. Stop acting like a victim of a closed spigot. When God planted a spring in your belly, John 7:38, out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water. Rivers, plural. Your gift multiplies streams. Now let's put order around your gift, because gifts flourish in systems. 1 Corinthians 14:40 says, let all things be done decently and in order. Luke 14:28 asks, who intends to build a tower and does not first sit down and count the cost? Write this down. Crisis is not the time for emotional spending. It is the time for intentional systems. Open a simple ledger paper or app and track every inflow and outflow linked to your gift. Give your idea a name. Even if it's humble, names demand stewardship. Block non-negotiable craft time, 90 minutes a day, where you sharpen your instrument. Study, practice, produce. Create a basic process sheet, how you deliver, how you get paid, how you follow up. Excellence is repeatable. Set a righteous pricing policy that honors both the customer and your calling. Don't give away everything because you are nervous. And don't overcharge to punish panic. Proverbs 22:29 says, the diligent stand before kings. Kings love clarity. Send clean invoices. Keep receipts. Open a separate account for the work. Even if it begins with $25, separate streams, stay clear. Practice the 10101070 rule. If you need a start point, tithe 10, save 10, invest 10 into skill and systems, live on 70. Malachi 3 positions your life under open windows. Proverbs 13-11 says, he who gathers by labor increases. Labor, legally document, deliver, develop. Write this down. Your gift must serve, solve, and scale. Serve, start with one person whose pain you can remove. Solve, focus on outcomes, not optics. Scale, build a process that can handle more without losing peace. The widow's oil in 2 Kings 4 did not stop at a prayer meeting. It moved into production, pricing, and profit. Go, sell the oil, pay your debt, and live on the rest. That's solve and scale. That's holy commerce. Some of you are feeling that old fear twitching, but my job is shaky. I must chase every posting. Yes, apply with excellence. But write this down. While you apply for jobs, deploy your work. Do both. Throw your seed into multiple furrows. Ecclesiastes 11:6. In the morning sow your seed, and in the evening withhold not your hand. For you do not know which will prosper, either this or that, or whether both alike will be good. Both is a kingdom word. Go for both. Lift your voice and declare it till your soul sits up straight. My job is seasonal. My work is eternal. My gift makes room for me. I can be fired from a job, but I can never be fired from my work. Say it again, never. The economy can freeze, but my river flows. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. Now I'm about to lay the next law on you, because gifts without stewardship become wasted rain. Seeds without barns become bird food. What you discover today must be governed tomorrow. We will build systems that open doors, budgets, schedules, processes, so your gift doesn't become a hobby in a hurricane. But for tonight, do the inventory. Choose one expression, set one price, and serve one person. As you honor your work, watch doors honor you. Because in this kingdom, your gift is recession-proof when your stewardship is relentless. Write this down. Stewardship opens doors. Say it louder. Stewardship opens doors. One more time till your habits feel it. Stewardship opens doors. This is how kingdom people cooperate with seasons. Preparation turns crisis from panic into strategy. Ecclesiastes 3:1 already told you, to everything there is a season. Genesis 8:22 promised seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter shall not cease. That means change is guaranteed. So listen to a father. Buy winter clothes in summer. That's not fashion advice. That's wisdom. It means plan for the next shift while you're in this one. Proverbs 6:6 to 8 points you to the ant. She prepares her food in the summer and gathers her provision in the harvest. The ant doesn't fast and pray in a blizzard. She plans and saves in the sun. Crisis punishes the unprepared but promotes the wise. Joseph did not pray the famine away. He prepared Egypt into promotion. Genesis 41. Write this down. God will not do by miracle what he already authorized by management. So let me give you the tactics of stewardship while your gift is warming up. Number one, tighten the leaks. Proverbs 21:20 says, there is precious treasure and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man devours it. Audit your spending in one sitting. Circle essentials, shelter, food, utilities, basic transport, health care. Protect those first. Trim the extras, unused subscriptions, impulse deliveries, vanity upgrades, emotional shopping. Do not punish your future to sedate your feelings today. Emotions make poor economists. Write this down. I will spend by principle, not by pressure. Number two, maintain integrity under pressure. Proverbs 11:3 declares, the integrity of the upright guides them. Don't lie on forms. Don't cut corners, because times are tough. The same God who elevates you will test your scales. Proverbs 11:1 warns, dishonest scales are an abomination. If you promise a client a deliverable, deliver. If you owe, call before they call you. Romans 13:8 says, owe no man anything except to love. If you can't pay all, pay honor with clarity. Write this down. Crisis is not a license to compromise. It is an invitation to character. Number three, renegotiate terms with wisdom and boldness. Luke 16:8 says, the sons of this world are shrewd in their generation. Kingdom people must be shrewd and righteous. Call your landlord, your utility provider, your lender. Ask for hardship options, payment plans, interest-only windows, or a temporary rate. Speak respectfully, have numbers ready, and present a plan. Here is what I can do for the next 60 days. Here is my timeline to normalize. Favor follows clarity. Many terms are flexible, not for complainers, but for communicators. Write this down. Stewardship talks, don't hide, negotiate. Number four, build a small reserve, even if it looks like insult money. Don't say it's too small to matter. 2 Corinthians 9:10 says, he supplies seed to the sower and bread for food. If God sees you treating pennies as seed, he will trust you with dollars. Start with a jar or a separate account. $5 a day is $150 a month. $150 becomes $1,800 a year. Little by little. Proverbs 13:11 says, wealth increases. And hear me, don't close your bank account. Keep your financial lines open. You don't bury a well because the rain is low. You clean it and guard it. Keep your accounts active, even lean, because streams want banks. Number 5, learn a new micro skill that multiplies your gift. Proverbs 22:29. Do you see a man diligent in his work? He will stand before kings. 30 minutes a day of targeted learning compounds like interest. If your gift is cooking, learn food safety certification and simple cost controls. If your gift is teaching, learn digital whiteboard tools and course design. If your gift is organizing, learn basic bookkeeping to complement your service. Write this down. Crisis reveals the skill gap. Stewardship closes it on schedule. Number 6, organize your delivery. Luke 14:28, count the costs. Build small systems now. A simple budget, a weekly schedule block for production, a checklist for client delivery, a follow-up template. Excellence is not an accident. It is a procedure. Put your process on one page: name, promise, steps, price, and payment. The miracle of 5 loaves moved on management rails. Sit them down in groups, then distribute. John 6, do likewise. Now let me take you deeper. Stewardship is not only numbers, it is language. Guard your mouth in this wind. Proverbs 18:21 declares, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Mark 11:23 says, you will have what you say. Israel extended a 40-day reconnaissance into a 40-year delay with their mouths. We are grasshoppers. Numbers 13-14. Don't prophesy your own defeat. Ephesians 4:29 commands, let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good for building up. Write this down. Words steer decisions in storms. Speak what you are building, not what you are fearing. Say, this is a season, and I am stewarding it into strategy. My cupboards are organized. My mind is clear. My plan is working. Joel 3:10. Let the weak say, I am strong. Say it. I am strong. I am steady. I am a steward. Crisis also creates unity. Don't isolate. Organize. Acts 2:44-5. All who believed were together and had all things in common. Galatians 6:10. Do good to all, especially to those who are of the household of faith. Write this down. Kingdom people become solutions, not complainers. Form a street or church phone, tree, daily check-ins for seniors. Create a pantry co-op. Buy staples in bulk. Split costs. Swap recipes. Start a rideshare roster for clinic visits and job interviews. Host a monthly skill swap night budgeting, resume polishing, basic repairs. Bring 1 can of goods every week. No one in our community goes hungry on our watch. If you have 3 of something, 1 is seed, sow it. Ezekiel 34:26 says, I will send down showers in season. Be the first cloud over someone's drought. Write this down. Stewardship scales when community coordinates. Let me bring it home with our island wisdom. In the Bahamas, we don't buy plywood when the hurricane is already knocking. We buy it while the sun is smiling. We don't fill gas with the siren. We keep it topped up as a habit. So spiritually, emotionally, financially, prepare in peace for what pressure will demand. Proverbs 24:27 says, prepare your work outside. Get everything ready for yourself in the field. And after that, build your house. Preparation before presentation. Field before furniture. Systems before selfies. Write this down. Barn before banner. Now, bridge your faith with foresight. Stewardship plus vision turns a doorway into a pathway. Many stand in front of open doors with no plan and call it warfare. It's not warfare. It's poor planning. 1 Corinthians 4:2 says it plainly. It is required in stewards that a man be found faithful. Faithful is measurable on paper, on calendar, in conduct. In a moment, we will lay out a 7-day kingdom action plan. Clear, simple, doable, so your preparation becomes motion. But before we do, lift your voice and declare, I choose stewardship. I buy winter clothes in summer. I tighten my leaks. I keep my word. I negotiate with wisdom. I grow my skill. I build my reserve. I guard my mouth. I serve my community. This is only a season, and I am turning it into strategy. And when strategy meets obedience, doors don't just open, they stay open. Now we move from revelation to regimen. Write this down. Doors honor those who move. In the next 7 days, you will not just hear, you will do. Joshua 1-8 says, when you meditate and do, then you will make your way prosperous and have good success. Not maybe will. Success becomes predictable when you honor kingdom laws. So take out your calendar, date it, put your name on it, tell your neighbor what you're going to do by Friday. We are walking through this door together. Day 1, declare the truth daily, morning and night, for the next 7 days. Put this law in your mouth. This is a season, not my sentence. Say it loud 3 times when you wake. To everything there is a season. Ecclesiastes 3:1. Whisper it to your bills, declare it over your body, put it on your fridge. As long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter shall not cease. Genesis 8:22. Write Psalm 1 where you can see it. I am a tree planted by rivers. My leaf will not wither. In due season I will bear fruit. Guard your mouth, no corrupt confession. Mark 11:23. Speak to your mountain, not about it. Write this down. Words are steering wheels. Point them at purpose. Day 2, identify one need you can solve. Ask the prophet's question from 2 Kings 4:2. What do you have in your house? Inventory, your skill, your tools, your relationships. If you cook, your kitchen is not just a room, it's a revenue stream. If you explain well, your mouth is a classroom. If you fix things, your toolbox is a ticket. Then go outside your head and gather data. Ask 3 people today, what's frustrating you this week that I could help fix? Keep it simple. Router's not working. Kids stuck in math. Meals after long shifts. Clutter choking peace. Choose one problem one. Write it down with a date beside it. This becomes your doorway for the week. Write this down. Clarity attracts opportunity. Vagueness repels it. Day 3, take one faith action that creates evidence. James 2:17, faith without works is dead. Move something physical into the earth. Register a simple name. Make a 1-page flyer. Order sample containers. Record a 60-second video explaining your help. Book the room. Buy the domain. Prepare the invoice template. If you are a Micafix, post a neighborhood announcement offering a 90-minute internet rescue session on Saturday. If you are Alana, welcome. Assemble 2 demo baskets and photograph them. Here is the principle of the loaves and fish. God multiplies what you release, not what you hide. Jesus did not multiply bread in the boy's backpack. He multiplied it in the disciples' hands as they gave it, John 6. Move your seed from imagination to distribution. Day 4, make one connection, one call, one ask. Favor flows through people. Write this down. Every door has a doorkeeper. Call the person who can say yes to your assignment. Property managers, school coordinators, pastors, neighborhood app moderators, clinic admins, local shop owners. One call. Script it. Hello, my name is. I help busy families with. I'm serving 5 families this week at price with a guarantee of, can I reserve a 5-minute slot to show you how it works? Be shrewd and righteous, Luke 16:8. Follow up with a clean text or email. No novels, just clarity. Tell your neighbor who you're calling before you leave this room. Accountability is fertilizer. Day 5, build one simple offer that can be read in 1 minute. Name, promise, process, price, contact. 1 page. Don't hide behind jargon. Shine with outcomes. Math without tears. 10 students, Saturday 10-12. Parents, get progress sheet. $25 per child. Work week, rescue meals. 3 dinners for 2. Delivered Monday by 6 p.m., $79. Dietary options listed. Home office reset, declutter, cable manage, workflow set, $149 flat. Add a small brave guarantee. If I don't remove 50% of your office stress in 3 hours, pay half. That's decency and order, 1 Corinthians 14:40. That's sitting down and counting the cost, Luke 14:28. And please hear this. Do not overbuild. The widow did not build a factory first. She borrowed vessels, poured, sold, then scaled. 2 kings. Start with vessels. Your excellence will invite expansion. Day 6, practice stewardship visibly. This is your management day. Tithe to honor the source, Malachi 3:10. Separate a small account for your work, even if it begins with $25. Track every dollar in and out for 7 days, paper or app. But implement the 10101070 rule or its cousin that fits your reality. Negotiate one bill today with gentleness and a plan. Schedule your 90-minute craft block for the next 7 morning skill compounds like interest. Keep receipts. Send clean invoices with due dates. Proverbs 21:5 says, the plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance. Write this down. What you can't measure, you can't multiply. Day 7, serve someone for free, on purpose, with joy. Sow a seed that has your future's name on it. Galatians 6:10, do good to all, especially the household of faith. John 1:3, Jesus washed feet before a cross. Service is the signature of kings. Choose one person, widow, single dad, overwhelmed nurse, new immigrant, and give them your gift without an invoice. Don't market it, minister it. Then document the transformation. What changed? How long it took? The smile at the end. Why? Testimonies are case studies that sell without selling. Luke 6:38 promises, give, and it shall be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Running over follows poured out, not stored up. Now, listen, like a leader, laws do not maybe work. They work when you work them. Gravity doesn't take days off. Neither do kingdom laws. Sow and reap is not a suggestion. It is oxygen. Align with it, and the results become predictable over time. Provision follows stewardship. Rooms open to gifts. Promotion bows to diligence. Favor salutes integrity. Psalm 1 says, your leaf will not wither. Joshua 1-8 says, you will make your way prosperous. Write this down. Consistency converts crisis into curriculum, and curriculum into promotion. If you will do this 7-day cycle 3 times 21 days, you will not recognize your momentum by the end of the month. Your emotions may resist, but your future will thank you. Seal it with your mouth. Lift your voice and declare, I am a doer of the word. I walk by laws, not by luck. I declare this is a season, and I am stewarding it into strategy. I identify needs. I move by faith. I make the call. I build the offer. I manage the flow. I serve with joy. My gift makes room. My plan is on paper. My feet are on the path. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. Tell your neighbor by Friday, I will have my 1-page offer in a stranger's hand. Say it again by Friday. Date it right now. Put a reminder in your device. Accountability turns wishes into appointments. Now let me speak the blessing of courage over you. May the Lord establish your heart, steady your hands, and sharpen your sight. May he give you wisdom like Joseph, favor like Daniel, boldness like Peter, and endurance like Paul. May your barns be managed before they are filled, and filled because they are managed. May your words align with his word, your steps order themselves into peace, and your gifts stand before the right people at the right time. You will not die at a doorway. You will walk through. On 3, we seal this house with a shout. 1, remember the Lord's seasons. 2, commit to the 7 days. 3, say it loud. Crisis is a doorway. Again, crisis is a doorway. One more time till the future hears you. Crisis is a doorway. Now go in peace. Go in plan. Go in power. Your king has given you laws. Your calendar is your agreement. See you on the other side of obedience.